I'm gonna look it up real quick.
All right. Well, I know that you spelled celebrities wrong as well. Celebrities.
Velocipaster.
The next one on the list also school and its role in creativity and music, but roll is spelled R-O-L-L, like rolling around in the sand.
All right, it's V-E-L-O-C-I. Wait, V-E-L-O-C-I-P-A-S-T-O-R.
Yeah, that's what I said.
How do I spell it?
V-A-L-O-C-A pastor.
Well,
Valicapaster.
Valicapaster. All right, 314. You have your watch on?
Yeah. It's past. It's 3:15, right? Now.
Okay, cool. 3, 2, 1. Let's start this podcast. For everybody who was, if we started there, everybody who was listening, Carl was. I have a running list. Ooh, can we share this one?
Yeah.
Put that in the center. I have a running list of topics on my phone, just like a notes tab or whatever. Just when I think of something, I'm like, oh, that'd be kind of an interesting thing to talk about on the podcast. But for those who don't know, I spell like a third grader, so it's. I would also like to come to my own defense. I'm not turning this in as a fucking essay. So, are you texting?
I was gonna go to my list, but the text was something I wanted to say.
Oh.
Let's get a dog, dude. Cam found a post of a golden retriever in a kill shelter. We have to save him.
I saw it wasn't a golden retriever. It was like a pit bull mix, but it came across on my feed, and it was like, "This is Gerald, cute as fuck, old pit bull."
They killed him?
Today, if he doesn't get
what the fuck? Let's get him.
if he doesn't get adopted by today,
Fuck, and this episode's gonna come out in like 6 days, and it's we can't even be like, adopt Gerald, because he will have either been adopted or killed by now.
I think.
Oh my god.
You think if we. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit because, Carl, you're going crazy.
You should end this video with an RIP to Gerald.
Fuck.
Jesus Christ.
Maybe if we use that as like leverage, we can convince our landlord to let us have a dog. I mean, like, if you don't let us get this dog, he's going to die and it'll be your fault.
That can be the theme of the podcast. Just forget everything we normally talk about, and it can just be a podcast dedicated to saving dogs in kill shelters, and then we can have our landlord be the villain. And we'll invite him on and be like, this is how many podcast episodes and how many dogs have died since you didn't let us adopt one.
Jesus fucking Christ. Cool. So, how's your day been, Carl?
Fucking shit. Shitty shit day. The theme of my day.
But this is a depressing fucking podcast. Dogs are dying. Carl's having a shit day.
The theme of my day is, you know the phenomenon where, like, if you're driving and you're getting impatient and then you try to switch lanes and then the lane you were just in moves in your lane?
Yeah.
That's my day today. Generally, that's how.
Isn't that
things
just a
are going
metaphor
me.
for life, though? You know,
Yeah.
if you don't stay in your lane, you're just going to end up going
It is.
just as
yeah.
slow.
Wow.
Fuck.
How's your day? It's one of the rare days that we didn't speak until right now, so
Yeah.
we can capitalize on that.
My day's been solid. I woke up, was editing a video for my new single, Inside.
Did you go outside today? Speaking of inside,
Yeah, I went outside a little bit. I definitely didn't. A lot. So I was thinking the other day, one of these other things that I wrote down on my notes for the podcast. I've noticed that last time we were talking about, or I guess it was 2 episodes ago, we were talking about creative processes and what tools we use to get creative, right? And like pull creativity.
yeah.
So one of the things that I found is I've just been trying to not just like I've been trying to take note of what days I feel exponentially more creative, and I've been trying to just think about what did I do during this day to make me feel this way? To kind of put together an equation of how I can recreate really creative moods. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think that I found my creative brain. I used to think it was a nighttime thing. Now I think I'm most creative, not early morning, but mid-morning, maybe middle of the day. And I'm usually the most creative.
When you start drinking.
Not when I start drinking, but when I wake up and like I don't get out of like my underwear all day, right? Like today, I wasn't dressed. It's 3:15. You came
Yeah.
home about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I was in like
Yes.
sweatpants and like a dirty shirt, right? Those are the days that I think I feel the most creative. Now
You
today,
get cozy.
yeah, today wasn't necessarily a super creative day. Today was like nitty gritty, getting,
No work today?
promo stuff together. No, I don't have work
That's
today.
nice.
But those days when I wake up, I'm in my underwear. I don't brush my teeth. I don't shower. I'm gross.
Yeah.
And then I just like walk right into the studio. Those are the days that I find are the most creatively fulfilling for me. I'm not sure why. I think it has something to do with, well, I don't know what it has anything to do with. It's just like, I guess it's like a
think-
comfort thing.
Doesn't seem like there needs to be much to like narrow down. It's just you got nothing else going on and you're comfortable and that's it. you
Yeah.
know? So
I think like,
look at how we're sitting.
we're both sitting exactly the same. I think something
For all of our audio only listeners.
I hope everybody knows that you can watch this shit on fucking Spotify. If you're on your phone and you're listening on Spotify, if you like Joe Rogan, like whatever, you can watch it on Spotify.
Yeah, so pull over, get that video going.
I don't know how. I mean, I do know how we got it, but like
We're not telling anybody.
But I'm so
Fuck you.
surprised that other podcasts don't do it. It's fucking sick.
Yeah.
Us and Joey R. But hold on. So to extrapolate, how do you spell extrapolate, Carl?
I don't know. Don't you hate people that use big words?
No,
Dick.
I don't hate people that use big words. I don't.
Wait, hold on. Extrapolate real quick and then we'll move on.
Okay. Good point. To extrapolate on the like waking up and not showering and not brushing my teeth and just being in my underwear, and that's when I feel most creative. I think I can make a bigger assumption about my creative process, and probably everybody's, is that when you feel the silliest and when you feel the most comfortable and is when you're obviously the most creative. I think that's a pretty like standard thought to have. And one of the examples I have that I was like thinking about is when you came over to my house because I was stuck on a song and we were messing around and trying to find a new part to add for the chorus. Now this is Inside Out right now.
Inside.
But I had this Logic patch of just like a bass tone, like a MIDI bass guitar, and obviously I was just like using it to like come up with ideas, and then I made a joke and put Decapitator on it, which is a distortion plugin, which it's just like fucking bonkers. If you put it all the way up, it's just like, total fart
crazy.
noise. And I made a joke and put that on it, and then it's ended up sounding really cool, and now that's in the final recording.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do. It was a good day. I
Yeah.
liked it.
So I think, and because it's just interesting that it started as a joke. I was like, this is so crazy if I distorted this bass tone, or these like, it's a bass tone played chords with a fucking crazy distortion over it. And it was something that I did as a joke to make you laugh, and now it's in the final version of something that I'm putting out.
Like, it reminds me of something that you and I tend to like with our different processes with making music to differ. Is that you do a lot of like DI things and MIDI things. so that you can have like the ability to change and keep control over the different elements in your songs throughout the process. And I really like to mic amplifiers and just record trash drums. And I have a tendency to really pursue a lot of like just whatever the character is going to be and just fucking roll with it. And both sides have their ups and downs. And oftentimes I end up putting myself in a loop of trying to manipulate a sound to sound a certain way. And I can't because I committed to not leaving the fucking back door open per se. But like exactly what you're talking about, just letting yourself do something and print it and have it be there and let it just be what it's going to be sometimes creates a lot of magic. But yeah, I mean, getting loosey-goosey with it is sometimes is what makes like what gives all of the character to a song, and that's the thing that makes it cool. So you have a song out now. It will be out. It's called Inside, right? Do you like it?
I'm so glad you asked, Carl.
Do you think it's good?
I'll tell you what. I love the song.
Really?
I do love it. But you have to understand something. As an artist, when you work on a song, I worked on this thing for so fucking long. Like, yeah, you might hear people and they make, I've heard like something like Billie Eilish said it in an interview. She's like, yeah, just like we made it in like a half hour and whatever. And I see a lot of clips of musicians talking about that. And while that can happen, I would say that the reality of the situation, I'm confident enough to say this because I'm a musician. All my friends are musicians. Everyone has the same fucking problem where you work on a song for so goddamn long that by the time it's out, you can't fucking stand it. You're just like, this is ridiculous. You've heard the song a million times and you can never like fully appreciate it for what it is. It's probably the plight of a lot of different artists, not just musical. Like, I'm sure directors of movies or
Painters
and painters. They work on paintings for like months at a time, right?
Sure. Some of them. Yeah. Some of them do it for a half hour with their brother in their parents' house, like Billie Eilish.
Oh yeah.
Whatever.
But I forget what my fucking point was.
Do you like Inside?
Oh yeah, I do like it, but I'm sick of hearing it. I've heard it a bajillion times, and my point was like, yeah, sometimes songs like happen in the half hour, but the reality of the situation is even if 75% of the song is done in a half hour, that extra 25% takes so fucking long to get finished. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I do like it. I do. You should stream it. You should listen to it. But I'm never going to be able to listen to my songs the way other people will. That was my point. Jesus Christ. That was my point. It took me a while to get to it.
What an extrapolation.
Sorry. I'm never going to be able to listen to my songs the same way other people will because no matter what, whenever I listen to it, even when it comes out on Spotify, I'll take a listen and I'll be like, man, I wonder if that fucking synth part could be a little bit louder. So I wonder if, but that guitar, I could have rolled off a little of the top end. There.
Can I ask you some things about like the like your future releases and things like that, or do you want to leave that up to mystery?
No.
Okay, so what's your idea for like? You said that you want to do like alternate versions eventually once the EP is all said and done.
Carl, don't tell the people.
What do you have an idea of what you want to do for like Inside or Growing Pains?
Yeah. So
Growing Pains is what else is out yet? Just those two, right?
Right now, it's just
from this EP at least.
It's Growing Pains is out, and then Inside is coming out March 14th. By the time this airs, it'll be out. So, Growing Pains, I did like a stripped down version. Kind of just threw it together, and then this one, I'm also.
Is that on Spotify?
No, that's just on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then this one, I think I'm probably gonna do like. Like how people do like a slow...
A mid-bass remix?
No.
mid-tempo bass.
No, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. No, like they do like slowed reverb versions of songs where people like just slow it down and reverb it. I'm not gonna do that, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna re-record the song, probably with just me and guitar, maybe a little bit of piano, slow the tempo down and make it really spacey. Like there's a good bit of psychedelic. Not a good bit. There's a little bit of like psychedelic influence in this song.
Yeah.
So I think just like phaser guitar, super like washed out, vocals all spacey. I think a slowed reverbed live version would be pretty cool. So I'll probably do that.
You do drums.
No, I think I'm just gonna do guitar and maybe piano
Nice.
because I want to be able to like do a live video with it. But yeah, the psychedelic thing's an interesting one too. Because I've never considered myself a psych artist by any means. And if you came to me and you said, David, what are your favorite genres? I don't even know if I would say psychedelic stuff is one of my favorite genres, just because that's what I don't say. But when I really dive into music that I've loved for a long time, psychedelic rock and psych pop and stuff like that, that's always been at the forefront of my like musical rotation. Like some of my first favorite albums.
It's like super creative. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to put words in your mouth. I think it's a genre that gets really creative and really musical past the point of like some of the indie pop music that you and I listen to a lot. And it hooks your attention with like kind of what you were saying, similar conversation to like just putting Decapitator on something. Like a lot of the music, it's not afraid to have a lot of character and be really weird and get more creative and not just try to sound like as clean as possible and as hooky as it possibly can be.
Yeah. Well, I think my natural instinct is to just make really like singer-songwriter structured songs. Like I'm not like acoustic guitar singy kind of music.
No, but the writing style.
Yeah, the structure of it, maybe like when I think about choruses, I do think about like, okay, what's catchy for people to be able to like sing along to, or what's a singular line that's really gonna stick out. Stuff that,
Songwriters do.
Yeah. But with this song specifically, it was kind of put me out of my comfort zone. I was like, okay, sound design wise, what can we do to make it a little bit more interesting? And it was really fucking fun. The way you were talking about just like printing sounds and not being able to going back, like recording it through an amp, not DI, stuff like that. Like there's this one guitar riff that like it happens in the chorus, and to lead into it, I like did a reverse reverb, and then I put this like crazy tremolo on it, and then I reamped that, and it just kind of leads into it. It's like, and that's what I recorded.
That's what it is.
I went wooga 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 wooga.
Sounds just like that.
But it's super fun to just fuck around and be like, all right, what kind of sounds that didn't exist before can I create?
Yeah.
Now, if you go and listen to the song and you're like a real psych head, you're going to be like, David, this is not psychedelic rock. And I know.
And we're here to tell you that it is, and fuck you.
Yeah, that's what I'm
You
gonna tell
don't, you know nothing.
I've with this whole project, I've enjoyed like taking my influences of genres that I don't necessarily make, like psychedelic music, and trying to morph those into like a singer-songwriter structure, or maybe like a singer-songwriter mentality, or that indie pop mentality that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, go stream Inside on all platforms. Sungrove.
Sun Grove.
You like my new name, Carl?
I mean, you know my mentality with like picking band names and things like that. It doesn't really matter a ton. Yes, I like it. Let me just say that before you get angry with me. Yes, I do like it. However, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't. I just I think that you could have picked any of the names that you were thinking about doing, and it all would work.
Yeah.
And also, somebody else could pick a name for you, and that name starts to embody what you make of it. Anyways, you could be Poopy Face, and eventually that would work somehow. I mean, that's a little bit.
I don't know
silly.
if I could be Poopy Face. They talk about they.
Stream Inside by Poopy Face.
I've heard some shit that Nirvana was gonna. I for some reason I want to say Loaded Diaper, but I know that's from like Diary of a Wimpy Kid or some shit. But I'm pretty sure it was like Poo Poo Corn Pants.
Poo Poo Magoo.
It was like something stupid like that, and it was like, wow, I wonder if Nirvana would be Nirvana if they were called Poo Poo Diaper Butt or whatever the fuck they were gonna call themselves.
Yeah.
But for anyone who doesn't know, I used to go by David Loving. That is my real name. I've recently changed to Sungrove. Go follow me on Spotify. What? Oh, dox him. That's our producer Colin telling Carl to dox me. Yeah, but this whole process has been pretty fun. The release process is pretty stressful, but it's been a creative journey. I feel like I've cocooned long enough and taken enough information, and now I'm starting to blossom into a little artist.
You excited for the show? Let's plug that
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
All our listeners, all 7 of you guys, if any of you listen,
We plugged Kian like a million times on the last episode, so
that
fuck
was
it.
a fucking chaotic episode.
Let's plug the show.
Yeah, March 22nd. 29th, excuse me. Yeah, 29th. It's a Wednesday, playing in Venice at Townhouse with Acoustic Sessions LA. They're not the show is not an acoustic show. It's, I think, the official name of the showcase or whatever is like Acoustic Sessions. Not really. It's all full band, but that's just the name of the promotion group or company or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that'll be fucking sick. We still got to figure out how we're going to do Growing Pains live. There's a lot of vocal harmonies in that.
No, we don't. We've rehearsed it extensively, and it's going to be amazing. So everybody, get ready to get your socks knocked off.
That's right. All right.
On March 29th at the Townhome. What's it called?
The Townhouse.
In Venice Beach.
In Venice Beach. All right. That's going to about do it for this week. I believe we're at a point where we should stop. And all right. Bye, everybody.